Hello everyone, welcome back to the show. Today in the video I'm going to give you my top 5 tips to be a true gentleman and 5 gentlemanly fragrances to go with them. Before that, I'm really sorry, I'm on a roll here and I had to get this out of my system. It's the final ZZ Top themed super chat song. If you like live streams, guys, please check me out on Thursday nights, Saturday nights and Friday nights every week. I like to think maybe it's the best live stream on YouTube for fragrances, but that's up to you. It wouldn't be gentlemanly to boast. Into the song. Guys, welcome back to the show. So, gentlemanliness, top 5 ways to be a true gentleman. I think there's a lot of people out there that have lost sight of the art of behaving in a dignified and edifying manner. They are behaving in a dishonourable way. I see it in the fragrance community, I see it in the wider world, and I've decided, Mr. Smelly, will now set the record straight as to how these are the top 5 things to follow to be a true gentleman. One should certainly remember, as a general overview here, guys, this is not dependent on your social class, although the term may have connotations that may make you think of that kind of thing. You can be rich or poor. You can be from any part of the world. We English, sometimes people say English are all gentlemanly people. Well, not really. If you walk around the streets of England today, you'll see that they're not. So it's this. You could be from England. You could be from America. You can be from Russia. You can be from Ukraine. You can be from Italy, Japan. You can behave in a proper, becoming manner for a man to behave. Let's go into my tips. Okay, I've taken a look at some websites, some top 10s, and I've sort of boiled it down. Please don't forget, if you want to buy fragrance samples and you're in the United States or Canada and Puerto Rico, use my code Mr15, link in the description, and go to myfragrancesamples.com. That is the place to buy your fragrance samples in America. I know the guy who runs it, Mark. Great guy. I thoroughly recommend them. Amazing range. So let's go. For each point, we'll have a fragrance. Kind of a bit random, but hey, whatever. Let's do it. Okay, first of all, be generous and be kind and be humble. I'm kind of linking these 3 things together. So it is definitely very important to be generous in spirit to be seen as a true gentleman. You must try to be kind to other people, and you must try to share your time and perhaps when appropriate, your money or your whatever means you have at your disposal. You must not be selfish. We see too much selfishness in the world today. It is very important to think of other people. This is the real point. Think of let's change that. This boils better down to this. Think of other people before yourself, or at least be seen to. Let's say at least be seen to. And that includes the things I'm talking about. So be kind to other people. If you see somebody an old lady has slipped over in the street, you should go and help her up. If you see somebody who is either very elderly, perhaps a pregnant woman on a train, you should stand up and give them your seat. Sort of these kind of chivalry things are important. It's basic human decency. And us gentlemen, us men should all try and abide by these things. In terms of being kind, also, you must try not to say unkind things publicly about other people. We see far too much of this, particularly now with the internet. And the internet, it can feel like not the real world, but it is the real world too, because we all we know that there's a real person behind the person typing the comment and the poor person that it might be directed at. So you might, or even if you happen to be on a video in a YouTube thing and talking about other people, don't say horrible, mean things about other people. It really reflects more badly on you than on them. So we see, and I'm afraid we see this in the fragrance community far too much. People saying very unkind, cruel things about popular fragrance reviewers in their Facebook posts or Instagram or other places like this. Even on people in YouTube videos bad-mouthing other people. We all think bad things about other people, even other people in the fragrance community. It is unbecoming to share those thoughts. Try, if you can't say anything nice, try not to say anything at all. And don't be afraid to pay a compliment and see the good in others and say, you know what, that person might not be totally my cup of tea, but you have to hand it to them. They are rather good at this. That's a better way of looking at it. Also try to be humble. We all think there are certain things we're good at and certain things that we're perhaps not, but it's really unbecoming to go around bragging and saying, I'm the best at this, I'm great at this. You can take that too far. If you receive a compliment, sometimes I'm a bit like, oh, someone says, I like your tie, and I'm, oh, this old thing, it's just from a charity shop. Well, no, that's too self-effacing. You should say, thank you, great. But if somebody tells you a story and says, you know, once I ran 100 meters in under 11 seconds, I was the best at my high school. Well, maybe you ran it in 10.5, but don't come straight back with that. Just say, wow, that's great. You must have been really talented. You fantastic. You don't always be looking to outdo other people or blow your own trumpet. Particularly in England, we don't like to hear that kind of thing, but we see too much bragging, I'm afraid, from people these days. It's very unbecoming. Let's tie this in with the fragrance. Bois de Portugal by Creed. It's my personal favourite. It is undoubtedly a very gentlemanly fragrance. Beautiful bergamot, lavender, sandalwood and vetiver, created by perfumer Pierre Bourdon, 1987. If you don't want a big fragrance collection, you like to be gentlemanly, you want to smell amazing, and you like an old school 1987 release type smell, just save up your money, get Bois de Portugal, and one kind of freshy cologne for daytime, and you are good to go. It is the best gentlemanly fragrance on earth, maybe, in my opinion. Point number 2 in my list of things to make you a gentleman. Sharp appearance. Well, this could be controversial. It is important to present yourself well, okay? The aesthetics, you know, it's what's inside that counts and how you behave, yes. But it takes no huge effort to make a good impression on people and present yourself in a decent way. In fact, it's kind of respectful to other people. If you're going to meet somebody for a coffee, please shave before you go, unless you happen to have a well-groomed beard, you know. Do something to put, if you have any hair, and make it in place. You know, make sure you don't smell bad. Perhaps wear a nice aftershave. And try to make yourself look smart. I happen to dress in a rather conservative, old-fashioned way. That's my taste. You can still be someone who wears a baseball cap and sportswear, but make sure it's freshly washed, maybe ironed. If you, I don't know, do you iron polyester? You could. We had Street Sense Al on the program, and he's a street kind of guy. Street Sense Al, a legend of the community. He doesn't dress anything like a square like me, but he still presented himself very well in his crisp cap and his nice t-shirt. So whatever kind of your style is, always put the effort in to make yourself neatly presented. Don't wear unironed t-shirts. Don't have a yogurt stain on your vest when you go out. Try to present yourself as well as possible. It's actually better for you, people will respect you more, and it's only polite to others. So that's my next point. Let's talk about a fragrance to go with this. Well, it doesn't specifically, it's just a fragrance for gentlemen. Heritage from Guerlain, 1992 release. Fantastic patchouli and woody, sort of slightly spicy fragrance. Absolute legendary juice. If you want a smartened up version of Givenchy Gentleman from 1974 sort of thing, that was from Givenchy obviously, but a Guerlain sort of smoother, smarter, a little bit more modern version. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Really nice eau de toilette fragrance, very patchouli dominant but very cleverly blended with the fresh notes, a little bit of the classic Guerlain class and that kind of woody masculine dry down. Absolutely beautiful gentlemanly fragrance for the office, for nights out, any situation. Bois de Portugal Heritage. 2 great gentlemanly fragrances. Let's move on. Next then. Good manners. We need good manners to be a gentleman, okay? We must be polite. We must say please and thank you to people. It's very important. It's becoming a little bit of a lost art, I'm sad to say, in the modern world. Manners cost nothing, but they maketh the man, okay? So ask yourself the question, if manners maketh the man, what manner of man does that maketh you? You must have good manners. It really is very easy to say hello to people, to look them in the eye, even if you're, you know, don't go into a shop. This appalls me when I see it. And you're buying something at the shop and you're continuing your phone conversation whilst you buy something. It's just poor form. It's bad manners. I've seen people go into the bank and try and carry out transactions, and in between they're continuing to carry out a phone conversation. It's quite appalling. You must show good manners and have respect for everybody out there. And that includes, good manners. This extends to the person serving you in the coffee shop, the person serving your meal in a restaurant, the people who may be in jobs which some people perceive as lower status. Treat them with respect and dignity. You may think, to be gentlemanly, I'm important. I'm the big man. I have to look down on these peasants. No, you mustn't think, even if someone shines your shoes, that doesn't happen to me. But if you do happen to pay someone for that service, you should still treat them as an equal human being. Manners and a view of others as equal, I think, is crucial to be a true gentleman. Let's go on to another fragrance, and I'm going to blow my own trumpet here, as I've just said you shouldn't. Bon Viveur by Naughton and Wilson. Well, gentlemen can still have a good time, and being a bon viveur is what that means, living the good life, someone who likes the good living. And Bon Viveur is a beautiful citrus aromatic fragrance. There is a link in the description. You can buy it at Naughton and Wilson. They ship to you in the UK, from within the UK if you're there, or in the USA and Canada from within the States if you're there, so it won't take long. Fantastic creation from perfumer John Stephen. Magnificent, amazing citrus opening. Kind of spicy, hint of clove in there. There's this beautiful twist of lemongrass, beautiful vetiver in the base. It is a stunner. People focus a little bit more on gravitas pour on my other amazing fragrance, but this is true gentlemanly refinement. I wore it yesterday for the first time in a couple of weeks. It is astounding, and it would go with any situation, summertime, springtime. It holds up in the autumn and fall too. I love Bon Viveur. And I tell you what, I'm kind of too gentlemanly because it's my own brand and I'm biased. I don't plug it enough because I'm embarrassed to look like I'm boasting. If this was by some other brand, I'd mention it a lot more in videos. It's amazing. But I'm too much of a gentleman sometimes. You can take this too far, this humility. It is very good, but I don't want to boast. Bon Viveur by Naughton and Wilson. If you're enjoying the video, guys, please do subscribe. Whether you like me or not, a lot of people don't. I am different. So you might want to subscribe so you don't miss the future videos. Thank you. Okay, so we've talked about good manners and treating other people with respect. The next thing is integrity. You must be a man of your word. By the way, if you're a woman watching this, it's mostly to be a nice person is kind of what we're talking about here. But we'll use the word gentlemanly. Okay, you must have integrity and be a man of your word. You must not say one thing and do another. If you say, I'll get this done for you by Tuesday, come hook or by crook, whatever that thing may be, you must stay wherever you are and get that thing done on time. If you say, I'll pay you back next week, you must pay them back next week. In fact, never or borrower or lender be if you can avoid it, because that causes trouble. But you know what I mean. So if someone sent you something and you need to pay them for it, don't keep them waiting 2 weeks. Don't make them remind you 2 or 3 times. It's part of your integrity, your honor, your decency. Integrity, very important. So be a man of your word. If you say, I'll do something, and then you go away and think, oh, God, I wish I hadn't said that. It's too bad. You've said you'll do it. Integrity and keeping your word, very important. Please do it. Next fragrance. So linked to that, Italian Cypress. Amazing release. One of the early Tom Ford private blends. Often compared a little bit to Polo Green from Ralph Lauren. And the other one, Halston Z14. Yes, a little bit like both. Smoother than both. Wonderful kind of sage notes, a little bit of a leathery undertone, and of course the note of cypress is in there as well. It's a classic Chypre, leaning towards Fougette, a great Chypre masculine fragrance. Very, very refined, very, very grown up, very smooth, very, very wearable actually. Has this almost kind of smooth, creamy, woody undertone to it. It's very, very approachable. It's not quite as old-fashioned as a couple of the earlier ones that I mentioned. It's beautiful. Italian Cypress by Tom Ford. Sadly discontinued. Please try and find a bottle if you can. It's beautiful. Finally then, last but not least, please, if you want to be considered a gentleman, do not use foul language and profanity on a regular basis. In fact, try not to use it at all. Some of these things I'm talking about here, I've been guilty of not doing them. I've sworn on live streams more times than I remember. It was quite appalling. Please do not go around using effing this and effing that every other word. Now and again, yes, maybe. Those words can retain a certain potency in the heat of a dramatic argument. You could throw in a swear word, but really, it's unbecoming at the best of times. And I've seen people, it's quite appalling. using this the F word adjective to describe anything. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. This fragrance has got so much effing rose in it. It's effing amazing. I've seen people in fragrance disputes on live streams going, "Oh, this effing fragrance, it's effing." How appalling! You're supposed to be talking about fine fragrance, and you're using that vile term. It's quite appalling. Please do not go around swearing. It's not big, it's not clever, and it makes you look rather poor as a human being. So please refrain from using foul language, except just now and again it can really spice something up. But if you use it every other word, then it loses its power. So please, no foul language. I'm quite fed up of hearing it. Now we're going to give you one more fragrance for that then. A gentlemanly scent, yes. A fragrance that fits in with the gentlemanly theme, Geo F. Trumper Eucharist. What a magnificent fragrance. 1912 release from the English house, first made in the house of Geo F. Trumper first came out, or whatever, in 1875. Look at this incredibly quaint, old-fashioned dispenser. The lid, a tiny amount. You have to really shake the thing to get any out. And it is a wonderful, woody, deep, masculine fragrance. A beautiful little twist of blackcurrant in there. Then we've got oak moss in the base. We've got some beautiful kind of aromatics in the mid. It's dry. It's rather austere. It's frightfully grown up. It is a bit stuffy. And I'm sometimes in that kind of mood. I'm a stuffy English gentleman, an old curmudgeon, but I kind of like that, and this is a beautiful representation of that vibe. And I think James Bond was reputed to wear it in one of the Ian Fleming novels. So that'll do me. Guys, let me know what you thought of that in the link down below. Check out the live streams, Thursdays at 9 p.m. UK time, and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 p.m. UK time, which equates to 5:30 p.m. in New York City. It is an amazing live show. Some of the guests we have are amazing. I really want to see you there. It's great fun. Guys, that's it. We'll leave it there. See you in the next video. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. And sometimes life may stink, but we can always smell good. Bye-bye. If you'd like to see an extra video from me every week, sign up to my Patreon group. It's only $2 a month. There's a link in the description. And we have loads of interesting stuff going on there. I do a lot of fragrance stuff, of course, but I also talk about some other things to do with my life. It's really fun, and I hope to see you in there. As I say, you can follow the link in the description, or just go to Patreon and type in Mr. Smelly 1977.